Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Shreya Dhoundial. It was a Sunday budget that needed Monday morning energy. Did Nirmala Sitharaman's 9th budget deliver on that main character energy? Well, ladies and gentlemen, in Gen Z lingo, the budget lacked riz. But experts are saying it did deliver on what we need to survive in the times of Trump. Resilience. So it was resilience over rhetoric. So on the positive side, the government announced a record capital expenditure of 12 lakh crore rupees for this fiscal, which is about 10% higher than last time, which means, ladies and gentlemen, the government is putting its money where its mouth is to make India the third largest economy and generate large-scale employment, which is the need of the hour. Nirmala Sitharaman today framed the entire budget on the principles of 3 kartavyas, and the Prime Minister later called it historic.
ये बजट अपार अवसरों का राजमार्ग है। ये बजट वर्तमान के सपनों को साकार करता है और भारत के उज्जवल भविष्य की नींव को सशक्त करता है। ये बजट 2047 के विकसित भारत की हमारी ऊंची उड़ान का मजबूत आधार है।
Ladies and gentlemen, while the government says the budget is designed to reinforce fiscal discipline, the opposition is unimpressed and is calling it many things, including Khali Dibba, and is giving it a rating of sub-zero. Leading the charge, of course, is Rahul Gandhi, who is pointing out to the lack of jobs, falling manufacturing and household savings. And he's saying that this is a budget that refuses to course correct and is a budget that is blind to India's realities. Nirmala Sitharaman responded in her cryptic style to Rahul Gandhi.
With due respects, I don't know what course correction he is referring to. Economy and its fundamentals are strong. Politically, you want to criticize? You're welcome. Please do it. But if you want to give me the facts on which you're basing your argument, I'm willing to hear and willing to reply to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, notwithstanding the FM schooling, the opposition carried on at one point saying that the finance minister exceeded their expectation of a zero budget and delivered a minus sub-zero performance. Now, while the Congress went on and on about the quote-unquote Kuda budget, the fiercest and the most specific criticism has come from the 3 poll-bound states, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and West Bengal.
कुछ भी नहीं है, खाली डब्बा है। आप उम्मीद कर रहे थे कि टैरिफ की मार झेल रहे हैं एक्सपोर्टर, कुछ राहत मिलेगी। किसान के बारे में कोई चर्चा नहीं, किसान की फसल के बारे में कोई चर्चा नहीं, तो दिया क्या आपने? खाली डब्बा।
यही हाल रहा तो लोहे पर पीतल चढ़ा करके जेवर बनाने पड़ेंगे। ये समझ से बाहर बजट है, ये सपने दिखाने वाला बजट है। जिन लोगों ने अपने पुराने घोषणा पत्र पे कोई काम न किया, उनसे उम्मीद क्या करोगे? बीजेपी से उम्मीद ही नहीं तो बजट से उम्मीद क्या करेंगे?
महिलाओं पे ऊपर, युवा वर्ग के ऊपर, गरीबों के लिए जिनका आप बार बार जिक्र करते हैं, उनके बारे में आपने कुछ नहीं कहा। ये बजट जो है फेंकू बजट है और लपेटू बजट है।
Now to the specifics, ladies and gentlemen. Kerala says this is a revenge budget because the Modi government has ignored their demands for an AIIMS and 7 high-speed railway corridors. Tamil Nadu is saying even in an election year, they have got nothing, and that the 2 high-speed rail links that have been announced for them are actually not meant for them. By the way, both Tamil Nadu and Kerala are part of the dedicated rare earth corridor that has been announced today by the finance minister. West Bengal, the 3rd state going to elections this year, has called this a Humpty-Dumpty budget, quote-unquote Mamata Banerjee. You've heard Shatrughan Sinha, he's calling it a Fenku Lapetu budget. The TMC is saying that this budget could not even give the people of Bengal a Nimhans. Instead, there are 2 Nimhans that have been announced, and one has gone to Jharkhand, one has gone to Assam, but nothing has come to Bengal.
যে 3টে ফ্রেট করিডোরের কথা বলেছে, আমরা 3টে নয় 6টা করছি সারা বাংলাকে জুড়ে। কাজেই টোটালটাই মিথ্যে কথার ফুলঝুরি, হামটি ডামটি বাজেট।
85 मिनट का स्पीच, 85 मिनट मतलब 5100 सेकंड। इस 5100 सेकंड में बंगाल का एक बार नाम तक नहीं लिया गया, एक बार भी, मतलब बंगाल मेंशन ही नहीं किया गया।
There's nothing actually concrete in this budget, and even with the elections in mind, they have not announced anything for Tamil Nadu. They're not giving us anything, but then they want to, mine rare earth from Tamil Nadu, and it's a very, very disappointing budget.
Prime Minister Modi has understood that his party, that is the NDA, along with the ADMK, will get 0 seats in Tamil Nadu, and DMK is going to get more than 200 seats. Overall, this is a zero budget, zero cyber budget. There is nothing in it for anyone in the budget except for the close corporate friends of the Prime Minister.
കഴിഞ്ഞ തവണത്തെ അതേ നില തന്നെയാണ് ഇത്തവണയും സ്വീകരിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇത് ഒരുതരം പകപോക്കലാണ്. കേരളത്തോട് बीजेपी കാണിക്കുന്ന പകപോക്കൽ.
जब हम इंतजार कर रहे थे कि ऑल इंडिया इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ आयुर्वेदा कहाँ आएगी, हमारे केरला में चाहिए हमें, हमारे तो बहुत लंबी ट्रेडिशन आयुर्वेदा के, लेकिन केरला का नाम नहीं सुना, तो ये सब हमें जरा सा आश्चर्यजनक है। लेकिन ये भी कहूँ कि शायद डिटेल्स बजट डॉक्यूमेंट में होंगे, हम पढ़ा नहीं, अब तक सिर्फ भाषण सुने हैं, भाषण में तो बहुत कम डिटेल्स है जो हमें जरूरी है।
Our politics is not about doing election time announcement. That is exactly the difference between Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and all these jokers. These jokers only show up during election, make a lot of statements. You look at the Kerala budget. Kerala budget is an example of how these politicians think people can be made a fool of. That for 10 years they did nothing. But on the last day of the election, they come out and make announcements.
My guest this evening for a very quick chat, Vishwas Pathak, spokesperson of the BJP, joining us on the broadcast. Backing him will be Anuj Bali. He's an analyst, a financial expert, but having some problems in digital India. What can I say, Vishwas? You'll have to answer for that. Unka connection nahi baith raha, theek. Salman Soos, spokesperson of the Congress party. Good evening. Good to see you smiling. And Dr. Saeed Hafiz, spokesperson of the DMK, who has been giving sound bites post the election. We just opposed the budget, I beg your pardon. We just heard him there, and therefore I'm going to come to him. Dr. Saeed Hafiz, how are you saying that this budget is zero? It is not zero, it is sub-zero, that Tamil Nadu has got nothing. How is it that Tamil Nadu has not got anything? Are you part of the rare minerals corridor or not? Yes. Have you got at least 2 high-speed rail links in the state? Yes. And yet you are saying zero under nothing?
Yeah, madam. See, the expectations from the budget from the people of Tamil Nadu were totally different from what the Prime Minister is posting on us. We are talking about rails, madam, new rails coming. We are talking about the safety of the passengers who are going in the rail. There have been multiple rail accidents, but there is nothing in the budget to strengthen the safety and security. Rare minerals, ma'am, we have been opposing that policy. The Tamil Nadu is opposing that policy. We don't want that to come to our state. We want 3,000 crore of funds that is pending for the Jal Jeevan mission. We want the 3,000 crore of funds that you have stopped because we have not accepted your 3-language policy. These are our expectations.
Dr. Hafiz, in life you don't get everything you want, na? Now why is Kerala and Tamil Nadu saying that we don't want to be part of the rare earth corridor?
Madam, in democracy, madam, that's it how it works. You should give to the people what they are asking. You cannot curse
No, people like me say I don't want to give tax. No, people like me say I don't want to give tax. Now, if the government starts giving in a democracy what we want, it'll have no money to spend.
Madam, do you compare both of this, madam? Somebody like Shreya comparing the democratic right of the citizens of Tamil Nadu to not paying tax, I don't understand. Shreya ma'am doing this is totally unacceptable, madam. Now, these are our demands which the people of Tamil Nadu are expecting, and you didn't give us anything. See, at least for Bihar and UP, when elections come, you do something to them, ma'am. At least that was expected of, okay, because there is an election, this time we thought there is something. Then coming to BBG Ramji, you have already burdened us. You have already burdened us with, burdened the states with 60,000 crores. We thought there is going to be something additional. We expected the Finance Commission to have increased the devolution. No such things from
Dr. Hafiz, damned if they do, doomed if they don't. Had the budget had some announcements today for Tamil Nadu and Kerala and West Bengal, what would Mr. Stalin and Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan and Ms. Mamata Banerjee have said? Ye dekho. This is what they do. There is an election in the state. Therefore, they are giving these sops. They didn't remember us a year ago. Today, they are remembering us. They are trying to bribe voters. This is what you would have said, right? Look at the hypocrisy.
So, ma'am, the BJP is so scared of such criticism. Is that the understanding? This is nothing but the exposure of bankruptcy of this government because of failed policy, ma'am. They don't have money to extend the Manrega, so they're putting the burden on states. They are cutting the funds that the states should be receiving. There is so much improper devolution that the states are not getting their funds.
Okay.
So it is a continuation of a policy mismatch that this union government.
Okay, let Vishwas Pathak respond. Let Vishwas Pathak respond to what you have said. I have understood what the opposition is trying to say, specifically the poll-bound states. Vishwas Pathak, please respond. Essentially, what Kerala and Tamil Nadu are saying is this: we wanted something, and you have given up some 1 or 2 lollipops which we don't even want because they are not good for our health. It is full of sugar and will have diabetes. We don't want. We don't want that rail corridor. We don't want to be part of the rare earth mineral corridor. Give us what we want, and you haven't done that.
Shreya, I have been hearing the leaders from West Bengal, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. Both are echoing in same voice. As if some new Article 370 has been imposed and which will not be applicable to these states. Tell me, if this 7 lakhs crore is given for MSMEs, will that not go to Kerala, Tamil Nadu and all these places? If girls' hostel is to be built up with all the district places, will not go to these 3 states?
Correct.
20 waterways are going to be installed. Will not Kerala and Tamil Nadu be benefited out of that? So I think this is very foolish thing. And you said very rightly, if we would have said something, they would have said that because it is a poll-bound state, we are saying so. Now they are saying there is no reference of Kerala. I was hearing Mr. Tharoor also. He's saying there was no single reference of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and West Bengal. I'm saying I'm sitting in Maharashtra. There is no reference of Maharashtra.
Exactly.
Also.
I didn't even hear a reference for UP
also.
Or Madhya Pradesh.
Madhya Pradesh. So I think very childish and foolish thing. As far as this budget is concerned, there is a strategic pattern since 2014 adopted by this government to reach to the 2047 Viksit Bharat thing. Year on year, we are growing as the highest growing economy. Our GDP is growing. Our fiscal deficit has come down from 9% to 4.4%. So there is a proper discipline in place. And therefore, out of frustration, they are saying so. We don't care about what they said. Even International Monetary Fund, they have really appreciated the efforts taken by our economy.
Okay.
Despite of geopolitical issues.
We are talking about Viksit Bharat 2047, which is all very well, just getting Salman Soz into the conversation. But someone has to think about 2027 as well and 2026 as well. The fact is that this has been a lackluster budget. I don't think we can deny that. But we live in difficult times, Salman Soz. What else is the government supposed to do? If it has not spoken for West Bengal or Tamil Nadu or Kerala, it has not spoken for Uttar Pradesh or Madhya Pradesh or Rajasthan either.
Yes, I agree with you. They've not spoken for anybody. This budget is for nobody. This budget is not for India. This budget is not for the India of this moment. This budget is not for 150 crore people. This budget is not for a country the size and ambition of India. So you're right. Everybody's right. I listened intently to what the finance minister had to say. And I'm grateful to Nirmala ji for having a relatively short speech. As you know, Shreya, spokespersons like me and my BJP colleague and others, we have to go from one show to the other the whole day. And, it's a thankless job. But thank God that at least Nirmala ji did not take too much of her time. Now, if I
81 minutes or was it 85? I saw two. I think it was.
I don't know.
It was 81 minutes, I think.
It was less than I expected, and I'm grateful to.
Okay.
Now, coming to the substance of this. Now, from where I sit, I did not see any kind of, I know this is the budget, but this is an opportunity where the finance minister is in the presence of the prime minister and the leader of the opposition and the whole parliament, and the country is watching. It's a very important day, and this is an opportunity for you to lay out a vision that meets the moment. Unfortunately, I think I did not see that. I think most people would agree that that did not happen. Now, but what gave it away was the first announcement that was made, Shreya. The first announcement, I believe, was about a 10,000 crore fund to make India a hub for biopharma Shakti, they call it. 10,000 crores, which, if you do the calculation, is about $1 billion over 5 years, which is about $225 million a year. And do you know, Shreya, that Pfizer, one company, spends $225 million in 2 weeks for R&D, 2 weeks. And that is what the finance minister basically made a big deal about in the budget. It is shameful.
Okay.
Now, just on the budget, because I want to talk about this. Our friend talked about this budget being brought down, the deficit from 9%. When was it 9%? It was 4.5% when we left power, and now it is 4.4%. Kaun sa tufan hai? And by the way, how did you reach that budget? Let me also tell you. Let people in India see. In today's newspapers, there's an article about 75,000 crores not being spent by ministries this year. And what kind of money did they not spend? By the way, did you know that the Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation spent only 2% of the budget?
Okay, Mr. Soos, but here's the number you're not mentioning. But here's the number you're not mentioning. You're not mentioning the 12 lakh crore rupee capital expenditure.
I will talk about it. Can I say something about that?
It is a 10% increase from last time. We are being told it is a bit of a record, which means the government is putting money where its mouth is. It will be spending on urban infrastructure, etc., so that jobs can be created.
Yes.
कुछ तो अच्छा दिखा होगा आपको इस बजट में, Mr. Soos.
I'm so glad you talked about that. So let me tell you that. But before that, just one point on defense, because defense, as we all agree, is extremely important. And today you might have seen headlines about defense expenditure going by record. They said it's record numbers.
20%.
But do you know that even after that increase, today's defense budget as a share of GDP is less than 2% and far below what it was under UPA today.
Okay.
Now to the capital expenditure that you talked about, I would say, Shreya, they've been spending a lot on capital expenditure. But my suggestion would have been, if anybody asks the opposition at any time, yes, we've been putting money on capex, but is it crowding in private investment? Hasn't happened in a big way. Hasn't happened in a big way. But more importantly, why don't you use some of the money to enable the small and medium enterprises of this country? They need help desperately. And don't tell me about the MSME growth.
Tushar will come in now. Mr. Soos, let Tushar come in. You're saying if they had consulted the opposition, which government consults the opposition before making a budget? This though is not being realistic, na? Let Tushar Gupta respond to what you're saying. You're saying there is too little. The government is trying to make baat ka batangar, but actually there is absolutely no headline in this budget. Tushar, many people would agree with what Mr. Soos is saying. People are scratching their heads and saying, "Ab headline kya likhen kal ke liye?"
Headlines are enough. Headlines is we are finally talking about rare earth and rare minerals. Headlines is we are extending our semiconductor program. Headlines is we are going for biopharma. Headlines is we are going for renewal of the PLI under electronics and electronic equipment manufacturing. I mean, if you want headlines, there are several headlines. My problem is people are looking at the budget like they used to look at the budget in the 2000s and the early 2010s. This is not a budget where you'll get something cheaper, something becomes expensive. This is, pre-GST times. Now the budget has to focus on the long-term reforms, but because let's remember, this year the income tax cut was not on the cards because we already had one last year. This year the GST reforms were not on the cards because we already had them in September. The labor codes have been notified. What do we really need in a geopolitical climate like this one? The Chinese are now blocking rare earth elements. We have those resources, but we are unable to mine and process them. And the government wants to move in that direction. Remember, in Jammu, lithium deposits were found in 2021. But even after 5 years, we are struggling to find a way to mine and process them. This is where we have to look. Shreya, I'm glad we're together on this debate today, because I recall we did a debate on the indigo crisis. And I remember telling you, Nano, that the way out of the indigo crisis also has to be starting to consider high-speed rail corridors between economic centers. And today we are talking about high-speed economic rail corridors. And at that also, the state governments are going to be participants because they will be important stakeholders, like you've seen in Delhi with the RRTS. These are the headlines we really need to talk about. You are talking about a dedicated freight corridor from the eastern part of the country to the western part of the country. And if someone says this is just theory or empty promises, you already have an eastern and a western dedicated freight corridor going on since 2019. So I don't know why people are so angry about this budget. Yes, it doesn't have a headline like an income tax cut or things have become cheaper or costlier, but it's not a budget without lackluster. Let's be very clear.
Mr. Dharanidharan, this is not Hindi imposition, but in Hindi there is a saying, "Bacche ki jaan loge kya?" Look at our geopolitical reality today, right? First, look at what is happening outside our world, and it impacts us directly. Mr. Trump has gone a little crazy; it impacts everyone, right? So there is that to deal with. Then look at what is happening at home. The fact is that urban consumption has not seen the sort of rebound that we would have liked. That private companies and corporates are not investing in the country. So the government has a tough balancing job to do. Now, political rhetoric is one side where you can call the budget kuda, you can call it revenge, you can call it khali dabba, you can call it what you want to. But there was a balancing act that was required. This budget required resilience rather than rhetoric, rather than populism, and that is exactly what has happened. So if, for example, 12 lakh crore rupees is capex and it is spent on urban infrastructure, etc., it's not like this urban infrastructure is only going to come up in Delhi or in Uttar Pradesh or in Madhya Pradesh or in Rajasthan. It will come to Chennai as well, na sir?
Yeah, ma'am. We very famously heard the 2 lakh package during the COVID, or rather 20 lakh package to boost up the economy. We don't have a data on the 20 lakh package or the 2 lakh package with the finance minister said. Now coming to this, as we said, as the Congress spokesperson said, you already have funds. You are trying to not spend your funds. That is the reality. 75,000 crores is a very huge money that the ministries are just saying it on the budget. Rather, when it comes to reality, they don't spend it. That is the attitude of this government. Then if that's the case, ma'am, you spoke about urban rebound. They have cut down 50% for the Swachh Bharat urban mission. So what does it all say? This is the clueless government. Then on one hand, you come and say you are a populistic government. Last budget was a populistic government and populistic budget. They came up with welfare schemes in Bihar. They gave 10,000 before the election. All this comes up, and that is a very good vision. And when they don't do it, that is also another good vision for the country. This is hypocritical, madam. Your budget should have a long-term plan. Either it is going to be a populistic, or you are really going to invest in a real infrastructure, or the future.
I've heard everyone, and if opposition rule states or anyone was expecting a Dhurandhar type budget which delivers on every front, in the current situation that we are in, it won't happen. But again, I'm saying, for the BJP and the Prime Minister of this country, it's a strange situation. If he had actually given extra to West Bengal, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, you would have said he's bribing the voters of the state because he wants to win. Now that he is not given anything, or at least not made a special mention, he's given some things, he's not made a special mention, you are saying, Dekho, they know they are not going to win anything. They are not even going to win one seat, which is why they have given nothing. अब आप ये भी तो देख लीजिए ना, there is this hypocrisy as well. Anyway, our viewers have heard all points of views. Gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this discussion and thank all of you. Mr. Vishwas Pathak, Salman Soz and Dr. Syed Hafiz, good to have you on the show. Thank you so much. And Tushar, thank you so much as well. Good to see you.